administrator is stuck in traffic. We blame the state DOT because that's not a county road, that's a state road. And you guys all know about that state road. Okay, so we're not gonna wait for Tommy, she's gonna be coming in. So I just wanna let you know that he'll be coming, okay? But we're gonna start it right away. So I was able to get someone to give the pulley. And Mike, can you come up here and give the pulley? Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Well, good evening, everyone. Let's bow our heads in prayer. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for all that you have provided to us here. We ask that you watch over us tonight, and so that we can share all our thoughts and learn more about what's going on and see what we can do to help each other. We're going through some really challenging times, and we ask that you just look over us so that we can gain the best out of this meeting tonight. And after the meeting, we humbly ask that you look over us so that we all return home safely to our final destinations. We ask this in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Okay, first of all, this is the first time I'm doing this, so you gotta bear with me, okay? As managing director, we have to do a lot of different things, but this is not one of the things that I usually do. So there's no smoking on campus. Back doors stay closed due to construction, that door. I violated that, I went outside over there. Exit parking lot with gates early or risk getting locked in. So even if you have a lot of things to say after this meeting, please start walking out and you can talk to those people before you get locked in, okay? We have some representatives here. Joyce Ventura is here. I think Mike McCartney from the governor's office, he's the chief of staff, he's here. Mike, where are you? Mike McCartney? Oh, he was in the bathroom, okay, so. Well, I wasn't trying to check up where he was, okay? I was just calling his name. The next thing, we have the governor's liaison for East Hawaii, Fresho Nishi is here, right over there. And we have Al Franzel from the USDA, Farm Service Agency. But we also have a very special guest here. Joni Onisi is the vice chancellor for the Community College of Hilo. And she's here right there. She is, here to entertain any questions that you might have. If you have people that are going to the community college or, your siblings that are going there, she can answer any of your questions. That's why she's here today. Okay? So, because Talmadge is still delayed in the state DOT road, we are going to go right into the Steve. Steve, you're ready to go? Oh, Talmadge is right here, right as soon as I say that. Okay, Talmadge, you don't have to shake everybody's hand. You can come up, man. You know, after the situation that happened yesterday, all of you know, with the boat and the lava bomb, and you saw it on TV and everything. You know, that definitely makes it a very, a situation that we're very concerned about. Because Harry's main goal is to make sure that everybody is safe. And that explosion came from on the bottom of the ocean, coming up and then falling on the roof of the boat. So if maybe about a few feet closer to that area, it would have come out from the bottom, hitting the hull, and it might have been a worse situation than what it is. I did reach out to the girl that was 20. The lava fell on her, and it broke her hip and her femur. So she has to go into another surgery today. I talked to the father, she's okay. I did reach out to the other family that had burns. But, anything could have happened. It's not a predictable type of situation. So that's why we're really concerned about caution. It's just like for you. I know every meeting that I've come on Tuesday, we have a lot of concerns about your concerns about getting back to, excuse me, to normalcy and trying to move back to your area. But anything like that can happen. And I know some of you feel that you want to take that risk. It is your property. You want to have that opportunity to be able to get in there. But in this situation that we're in now, the commander-in-chief is the mayor. He makes the determination to see, with the consultation with the civil defense director, to ensure the people's safety. And he is very proud of that he does not want to see anyone die on his watch. And that is the main goal, for your safety. Okay, so I know you send me emails, you call me, and you're upset. We try to be very empathetic of what you're saying. But all of you here today, I see some of you, that you brought things up to me, and we have adjusted a lot of the things that happened 6 weeks ago. We've changed, we've been able to adapt, and we'll continue to do that every single day that we meet at the Civil Defense to ensure that to get back to normalcy. But always remember that always the safety is the most important thing that we have in our minds to protect you, okay? Okay, Talmadge, you're up.
Good afternoon. Welcome to our Tuesday meeting. And as always, the agenda's over my right shoulder. And we do have some additions this week. We'll take a little bit lengthier agenda. So we'll still have the questions and answers at the end. I ask that folks that have spoken before ask questions, let other people that never had the opportunity to speak. And we'll try to keep it at an hour. As always, we still have all the resources around the room. Make sure that you don't leave without having your questions answered. All the county agencies will be here as well, so take advantage of that, like you guys usually do. So just some updates with FEMA. The Disaster Recovery Center still in operation in Keau at the high school gymnasium, and that is open Monday through Friday from 8 to 6, and Saturdays 8 to 4. August 13th will be the deadlines for FEMA applications. And also importantly, if you've got a previous denial, they are appealable, so make sure you go to them and ask for a re-inspection. Ask for re-inspection. Also at the DRC is other state, county, and non-government agencies as well to help you. So if you don't qualify for FEMA, there may be other opportunities for help, grants, and so forth. So small business, USDA, Red Cross, they are all represented there. So make sure you have taken that opportunity to go and go through all of those different groups to see what you qualify for. So one other announcement, Puna Insurance Claims Forum. This will be Saturday, July 21st at the Sacred Hearts Church. And there'll be two periods that they're running, 9 to 12 and 1:30 to 4. So again, the Puna Insurance Claims Forum. Okay, so covering the recovery process, Director for Research and Development, we have Diane Lay.
Hi, Hi, folks. Hope everybody's doing good tonight. So what I wanted to do was provide you with a really brief update of some of the planning efforts that are going on as they relate to recovery. And tonight I'm going to focus on housing, and another evening we'll focus on the economy, what's going on with small business, visitor industry, agriculture, and also our natural resources. And we'll kind of go through this, we'll also be doing, I want to emphasize that no decisions have been made by the county, okay? And we will be coming out to engage our communities. So hang in there with us. It's going to be a process. We're going to go through it, and we're going to go through it with all of you, okay? So let's see. Make sure I get these right. Okay, so this slide shares with you some of the response to recovery process. That upright line to the left is the event, right? But for us, we've got an ongoing event, so that's that line all the way going across the bottom as well. But it illustrates in the brown section some of the short-term, we'll be going through some of the short-term efforts that are being made. The yellow highlights some of the intermediate steps and responses, and then the long-term will be in green. And it's really important to understand that the county is doing because this event is ongoing, we're going to be taking steps all along the way. When we see opportunities to move forward, we're going to. We're not going to wait and say, oh, that's got to be long-term, work. So it's going to be an iterative process. This slide shows, again, the column in brown, the response. Yellow is in assistance. That's a FEMA response and other public resources. And then the recovery process. And so again, the county will be looking for opportunities where we can partner with our state and federal partners and really help to move this forward both as a community and for individuals. We're utilizing some guiding principles, and particularly in focus on housing. One is about choice. We know not everybody likes to live in the same type of house or the same type of community, so that's going to be important. Timeliness is another important key factor. We've got to be acting short-term and medium-term. We've got to come up with solutions. And we've got to be collaborative. We need to make solutions based on what the needs are of the impacted families. Another set of guiding principles is leveraging opportunities. I mentioned that before. How can we partner with our state and federal partners? How can we partner with nonprofits? How do we do that with businesses? And with you folks as a community members. How do we engage with you? We're going to be coming out and meeting with you. That'll be stepping up in the coming weeks and months ahead, okay? And really, how do we mitigate the risks so that we're not out here faced with the same situation in the future? This slide, make sure I keep along with my notes, indicates the current emergency sheltering process. And we've got, county shelters open. We've been working to identify barriers to folks moving out of the county shelters and working with ongoing registration at FEMA as well as FEMA's individual support. Oops, what did I do? There we go. Okay, looks like it's skipping a slide. So, maybe I'm skipping a slide. So the next process we're entering right now is helping people move out of the shelters if that's where they were, or out of their temporary situation. Want to get people into rental housing, moving people into home ownership. Maybe you've gotten your payment from your insurance company or for FEMA, and that can help you move towards ownership. We're also working with FEMA on their temporary shelter assistance and hotel program. And as we work on phasing out the short term and the sheltering, and again, that's that yellow section, we're going to be working on that temporary sheltering with FEMA. We'll be working with that, and that's up to 18 months that program can run. And so we've been, you folks have seen the tiny homes go up, working with the nonprofits and the churches. We're also exploring the potential for additional homes like that or temporary shelter on state and county lands. And the private property, we're kind of saying that's off limits because you can't put there's generally not infrastructure there on private property to accommodate many families in one situation. Okay, so we're concurrently also working on developing the long-term recovery process. And again, that's in green. And that recovery plan for housing is going to focus on, again, using our guiding principles. We're also going to be looking at the general plan and what it states. That was a document that was adopted by outreach through the community, and then the county council adopted it along with the community development plans. Puna has an active community development plan, and we'll be engaging the community again and ultimately developing a recovery housing plan. So this slide here, I wanted to take a minute to focus on this. Steve Brentley from USGS, I think showed you some charts, and some history about the eruptions on Kilauea. And I want to just emphasize that the 2005 general plan cited that there's been more than 25% of the area in lava zone 1 that has been covered by lava in the past 118 years. Zone 2, which includes adjacent areas to that downslope of the active parts of the rift, has been covered about 15 to 25% of that area, okay, since the 1800s, so 118 years. So we need to keep that in context. When we're planning for the future, it's really critical that we assess and understand those risks and make educated decisions going forward. So on housing specifically, the general plan identifies quite a number of components, but really some of it's focused on a variety of choices. Again, we're all individuals, all individual families, we don't all want the same thing. So how do we identify those variety of choices? How do we create viable communities, vibrant communities, yeah, that are affordable? And how do we encourage and expand home ownership? The Puna Community Development Plan focuses on reducing the risk in high hazard areas, and while also retaining the rural character of Puna. That's important to most of the people, and so that was identified. Also, the preservation of agricultural lands for active agriculture, and supporting village and town centers was important. So what are some of the future possible considerations as we move through looking at lava zones 1 and 2? We're going to be looking at the impacted areas. We're going to be looking at a variety of land use tools. Not all are listed here. And we're also going to be looking at the implications of any decisions that might be suggested. And so all of these are complex factors. They're all interrelated, and they'll all affect you, and that's why it's important for the county to engage with you. So moving along to some of the housing options in the short term, we're working with FEMA. We're looking at multifamily lease and repair programs. We're also looking, is there an opportunity to move and relocate some of the homes that were not damaged? Additional short-term options may include approval of opportunities for accessory dwellings associated with a primary residence. We look at incentivizing long-term rentals. That might include education on how to manage a rental. Many of us have never rented to anyone before. So how do we do that? How do we do that legally, and how do we protect ourselves and our renter? How do we explore opportunities with real property tax to incentivize people to rent out their homes? In the intermediate, we'll be looking at options, opportunities to reconfigure some of the Puna subdivision town centers, maybe restoring or rezoning to create walkable and diverse town centers within some of the subdivisions, targeting some additional density possibly. Maybe we want more folks living close to schools and to services. And what are the opportunities for agriculture? Can we do infill, or should we create new agricultural parks associated with clustered housing? So this is just a slide kind of highlighting the overall recovery process is going to be consistent with the FEMA process, because they're our partners here. They've come to town, and they're here trying to help all of us. We're going to be working with the various sectors on housing. That includes the state, that includes the county, federal government, our nonprofits, our churches, the private sector. That's really important. And we're going to be researching the tough questions and figuring out what might be opportunities for us. And we'll be reaching out to you folks and engaging the community, getting your feedback, and we'll be seeking support both at the federal level, state level, as well as our county. So that's kind of in a nutshell what we're doing. It's a lot of pieces are moving, and again, no decisions have been made. We'll be reaching out to you all and through different meetings, sometimes here and at other meetings, but we'll be communicating with you, okay? Thank you.
Okay, continuing with the housing theme, we have Roy Takimoto. I'm not sure what kind of survey he's going to do today, but I see his little clickers over there, so get ready to participate.
If you came last week, we had these little clickers where you could provide your feedback. We're going to try it again tonight. Pretty much the same questions. This is all helping us make sure technology works, and it doesn't always work, and helping us to practice listening to you instead of always telling you what we are planning to do. We want to plan with you. Okay, so on these clickers, if you haven't done it before, your vote is anonymous, and you can keep clicking until I say close, and your last click is what the vote will register. This is a small sample size tonight. It's only the thoughts of the people in the room, so don't take it as representing all of Puna. And lastly, don't take home the clickers. It doesn't work with your TV, so please return it when we're done, okay? Okay, first question. Where is your property? And if you're ever interested to see the results, we can post it up on Civil Defense website or whatever, knowing that these are just practice sessions, these are just snapshots of what people are thinking. Okay? So keep clicking, and I'm looking at this box here. I cannot see the number. When I see it stop moving, then I know that most of you have voted. Okay, closing. Okay, so I know it may be difficult to see the results of the graph here, but it is in the bar is in the order of the questions here. So 42% are in this room are from Leilani. The next highest is other than all of those listed. Was this property owned by you, rented, your second home, vacation rental? You didn't live on it, but it was your farm or other. Okay, closing. Okay, primary residence, mostly. Status of your property, is it destroyed, standing but inaccessible, standing in the mandatory evacuation area, standing in the voluntary evacuation area of Lelani or Alaili Road, standing but impacted by gas. You're located in other parts of Puna, not any of the above, or other. Okay, closing. Okay, pretty well represented across the board. Where are you staying now? In your home, in the Pahoa shelter, in the Kea'au shelter, with friends or family? You're renting elsewhere or something else? Okay, closing. 43% still in your home. Are you working or retired? A, working, B, retired, C, want to work but unemployed or other. Okay, closing. Oh, interesting. A lot of working people tonight. Last meeting we had mostly retired. How large is your household? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or more. Okay, closing. Currently. %, 2% household. If you had to move, where would you prefer? Now, if you had to move, Puna close to schools and services, a rural lot in existing Puna subdivision, C, a farm lot in Puna, knowing that there may be farming requirements, or elsewhere like D in Hilo, E, Hamakua, F on the west side, G, Kohala, H, other. Closing. Oh, 34% Puna subdivision lot. When choosing a place to live, what are your top 2 considerations? So this one you can click twice and it will take your last 2 clicks. Okay, closing. Oh, okay, C had the highest, location close to markets and services. Okay, now answer this one. This is anonymous now, so try to be honest on this. Because if you pick the lowest, we're going to plan just for boxes for you. You know, so really think about how much you can afford, because we want to be able to deliver at a price point that you want to live and can afford, okay? Okay, closing. Okay, 40%, 500 to 1,000 a month. Okay, that's good information. Okay, so a lot of these solutions will take about 18 months to deliver. We're also looking at very short-term solutions for you, such as the realtors are helping us set up a clearinghouse that if you want to immediately rent or buy a lot, an existing lot, this clearinghouse will help you match up, because we know that prices are going up, the inventory is low. So the realtors are helping us round up willing landlords to participate in this kind of rental program. Okay, but if you had to wait 18 months, what would be your solution? Would you stay with friends or family? Would you, because you can afford it, just go ahead and find a rental someplace? C, that you would like to stay in a transitional shelter that we would provide for you at minimal cost, and we'll make sure that your pets would be welcome. And for C, it's a transitional shelter in Pahoa. D, it's a transitional shelter near Maku Farmers Market. E would be a transitional shelter in a safe and secluded place in Panaeva, closer to Hilo. F is that you will shelter in place in your home. And G is you have other plans. Okay, closing. 28% shelter in place in your home. Oh, but 21% you would be willing to find a rental somewhere. Okay, good. Okay, have you registered with FEMA? Closing. Just for your information, for those who do not intend to register, we're not sure what your reasons are, but even if you are not in the directly impacted zone by lava, but impacted maybe by bad air quality or earthquakes, you should register with FEMA. And just because we are going to do this kind of survey multiple times, we just want to know if you've done it before, just to get an idea of who we are repeat surveying. Okay, closing. Also, half of you, this is your first time. So thank you for participating, and we hope to do similar sessions once we start doing community meetings that will be more focused on various housing solutions. So thank you for helping us practice with this.
Yeah, believe it or not, as we move through the summer, school's kind of getting ramped up again. So for the Department of Education, Courtney Hamakawa to kind of go over what's planned, what's scheduled, what's updated for this coming school year.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, County, for giving us the time. I'm Courtney Amakawa with the Department of Education. This clicker survey was quite interesting. I'm not really targeting the right demographic as far as numbers is concerned, but the main purpose I'm here is to let you folks know if you have children from kindergarten to 12th grade, it's not too early to get them set up for school, especially if you've been displaced by the lava. There's several key rights under the McKinney-Vento Act, which is a federal law that enables your child to continue going to the same school. Say it was attending Pahoa Elementary, Pahoa High and Intermediate, even if you folks moved out of the area. Say you're staying at the Keao shelter, they can still attend the Pahoa schools without getting a geographic exception. I have the paperwork available here tonight in that back table that they can get you set up and enrolled for school and set up with the lunch and bus if qualified for that. The main goal is to get stability, especially in this tragic time, so that your children or grandchildren or relatives of yours or friends that you know of school age can get in school and get the things that they need to get to school. We have in place also school supplies if necessary. I have my contact number and whatnot. You can take it down. It's 345-1366. And you can contact me and we can get your children set up for school. That's basically everything that I have in a nutshell. I have the paperwork in the back, and I can give you the names of who to see at the school so you guys can get set up right away. You don't have to wait to the first day of school. Things can get done right now. So that's all I have to say, and thank you for your time. Mahalo.
All right, thank you, Courtney. So a couple updates. With the evacuated areas, just to let you guys know, we're still running escort services. We call the Civil Defense Office, and we'll set up an appointment to get you guys into your property to do whatever work you need to do. And that number is 935-0031. Also, the placards number that is pretty low, so we've moved that back out to the Civil Defense Office, and that's at 920 Ululani, and they are distributed between 9 and 4 daily, Monday through Friday. Okay, to go over the evacuation routes and the roadways from Department of Public Works, Alan Simeon and Neil Azevedo.
Hi, aloha. Before I call on Neil, who is really instrumental in providing these evacuation routes, I just want to share with you that we at Public Works, in conjunction with the other partner agencies and other departments in the county, we are here for you, watching out for you and for your safety. Also, I want to thank you all for your coordination and cooperation. We do understand that it's hard to leave your house, your dwellings, and your belongings. But when we come and knocking on your door to evacuate, there's a good reason why, and that is for your safety. And also, you guys can help us be our eyes out there. So if you see something out of the ordinary, maybe cracks on the road or something, please let us know and bring it up to our attention. The earlier that we can take care of that, the safer for everybody. Also, I want to share with you that the beach road that our highways division has paved pretty much the early stage of the eruption is still doing good and servicing the community. Also, in cooperation with DOT, Ala Ili Road has been paved by our highways division and ready if need be. At this point, I'd like to call on Neil Azevedo, and as I mentioned, he's the person that really is very instrumental with these roads. He's always out there planning what if one road is gonna go. we need your help. But with his leadership and his crew, they're out there 24 hours a day. And I would like now to also share with you that although this lava event is very high in his priority list, I didn't ask him this, but I want to share with you that he just came here after coaching football at Waikea. He's a very hard-working person and very passionate for the community. And now here's Neil Acevedo to talk about Railroad and also Papaya Farms Road. Thank you.
Hi, good evening. Noni Farms and Railroad Avenue will come out, enter and exit out of Cinder Road and to 137 Beach Road. They will not go above on Railroad Avenue until we get the okay from KSB. Right now they're private, so that's for emergency evacuation route only. We'll work with them, see what we can do. But right now, the main road we can use is Cinder Road, Railroad to Cinder Road. Okay, right now the road is really nice, and you can travel on that road. You know, you don't even worry about potholes. You know, the road's very passable. A lot of people are real happy about that road. So it will be unlocked, it will be open for residents only from Noni Farms and Railroad Avenue. You'd have to go to the check station at Papaya Farms Road to go through there. So please, take good care of the road. You guys gonna be traveling it every day. You know, motorcycles, four-wheelers go on the road, bust the road up. And what happened? If we evacuate, you're gonna take you guys too long. You guys gonna end up, you know, trying to avoid potholes, avoid, you know, from the four-wheelers. So please take care of the road. You see anybody busting the road up, you know, let us know. You guys have eyes and ears. You know, we got 3 guys working overnight here. Okay, we got 3 guys. They're watching the lava flow on the Poiki and Poiki and 132, and they're going down watching Papaya Railroad Avenue in case anything goes down towards Cinder Road. That's the most important places right now. So we're watching them. Every time there's an earthquake, the guy's automatic going down there. They're waiting by the Y to see what's happening. Any questions? All good? Thank you.
All right, just a little bit reality check. You know, the last couple of days, we've still been continuing to lose structures, houses. Granted, it's in the evacuated area down the coast, but, you know, bit by bit, the lava keeps consuming more of the land. So what I'm saying is do not become complacent. Sunday, we had a little bit of a southern turn breakout from Fisher 8. You know, so that's always possible. So if you're still living in your residence, could happen anytime, could happen any direction. So, you know, I keep saying it, we're not out of the woods. As long as lava is coming out of Fisher 8 or any fissure that is within residential areas, we're on 24 hours. You know, unfortunately, you know, you guys need to be ready 24 hours as well. We're here for you. And what I'm getting at is our emergency messaging. Make sure you guys are signed up on our blackboards. Make sure you're tuned in to the radios. The sirens are in place. We tested them beginning of July. You guys communicate with your neighbors. You know, I talked to the Leilani Community Association last Thursday, and they said that, you know, they've kind of gotten to know people that they never knew before. Disasters seem to kind of do that with communities, but, you know, make sure you're taking a cognizant view of that. Reach out to your neighbors, make sure they're doing okay. Make sure you can communicate with them if you have to evacuate. Check on each other, support them how you can. And that means being prepared personally as well. So I'm going to harp on that every week to make sure it's done. Because, we're looking out for you guys, and we kind of want everybody to be safe. As the managing director said, the mayor, that's his number one thing, that no life is lost. Unfortunately, we've had some injuries already, but we don't want any more. With that, we're kind of running out of time, so I'll take a couple questions, preferably people that never had the opportunity before. And so we'll kind of run 2 questions. Yes, ma'am. Hang on.
Probably end up being 2 questions. I lived at Cinderland. I evacuated when it was under a mandatory. I don't have a vehicle, so I stayed away. And I'm told it's considered a margin. It's on the margin of evacuation zone, danger zone. And now you're talking about the evacuation road, whatever, railroad and Cinder Road accessing. What if the lava goes back that way? What are you gonna do?
The communities that we've kind of opened up that are still under restriction as far as residents only, already we did it, I think last week, when there was a surge and we had breakouts to the north and south of the flow. So we basically went door to door in Cinder Road. And we'll continue to do that. We're on 24 hours in our EOC. The checkpoints are run 24 hours as well. So we have staff out there available, throughout this operation area to do door to door besides our messaging. So if you're in the area, we're going to do it. But, the reason the other alternative was from Pomaikai East, that was just getting too hazardous for responders to be in there and for, us to risk people's lives in there. So we're saying that where you are is safe for now, but we'll come door to door if we got to evacuate you.
Aloha. My question's about affordable housing and the definition of affordable. As you saw from the clicking test, a large number of people here are retired. That means that many of them had everything they had was tied up in their homes. And for many of them, all they're living on now is like Social Security. And so it's hard, even if you're getting something back from FEMA, or if fortunately you had some insurance, it's still not enough to buy a new house, especially when an affordable house is considered upwards of $300,000. And I'm wondering, that seems terribly unreasonable. It's not really affordable. And so I'm wondering, is there a process to change that?
Well, I hear where you're coming from. I'm not really the person to answer that question. So whether it's the housing folks that have been working on those issues, and I know FEMA's got some restrictions as far as discussion, but it shakes me to the core, understanding that you can lose your property like you guys have, and not be able to, after a life of working for it, and not be able to recover it. I think it's an eye opener for all of us. But anybody, Roy?
So one of the basic principles we are operating when we try to plan for the housing solutions is to offer choices. So we are trying to target various price points. So when you talk about affordability, it's kind of like 2 parts. First of all, there's only so much lower we can go to provide home ownership. So if you cannot afford to buy a home, then consider rental. But whatever you're paying, whether rent or mortgage to buy, the rule of thumb is 30% of your income. So if you cannot afford, if you fall into a certain income group where you qualify for this program called Section 8, then you pay only 30% of your income. And if your rent is higher, the Section 8 voucher pays the difference between your 30% that you can afford and the market rent. So 30%, that's the rule of thumb.
All right, I'm not sure if that answered all your questions, but
Is there a process to change what the amount of money that's considered affordable?
you know, I think the questions you're asking probably go back to the DRC, because those are the groups that are taking care of those programs that have the money. So, that's all the time we have for questions. Like I said, the resources, the county, the other federal agencies, our non-government agencies or partners will be here to answer any other questions. Thanks for coming. As I said, we'll plan to be here again next Tuesday at 5 o'clock. Thank you.